Wow. Look at this, guys. One of my subscribers wrote a beautiful poem in the comments. Thank you so much, Jinal7128. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. If it's a name, maybe it's just a YouTube channel name. I'm not sure. Jinal7128. Look at this. Read this, guys. I have been watching your videos so many times, but today I want to share my gratitude with this poetry that I made. Here's the poem. You are a perfect single flower. No flower stays closed because it's scared of the world. No flower gives up and refuses to bloom because life is short. Every flower is perfect. We can't imagine how hard it is for a flower to bloom. It faces pain, loneliness, and struggles alone. But once it blooms, it sees others just like it. They look at each other and smile. Even if no one notices, they are perfect as they are. We are all perfect flowers. Isn't that beautiful? Thank you very much for this poem. You know, that's awesome. I love this poem, but you know, there's one line in this poem that really resonated with me. It really resonated with me. Do you know what resonate means? What does that mean, to resonate? Well, it's, we're talking about sound, okay? We're talking about, like, the behavior of sound, especially, like words, okay? But this is really a word to describe sound. Like, have you ever been in a canyon or a gorge and you say, hello, and then you hear it back, hello, 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 hello. Why is the sound doing that? It's doing that because, well, the sound is echoing off the walls of the canyon, right? The sound has nowhere to go. It's kind of echoing. It's bouncing back and forth, okay? We could say it's reverberating. It's vibrating. Okay, so this word, resonate, it means kind of, we're talking about the vibrations of sound. So you could use the word resonate or reverberate or echo, okay? They're all kind of similar words. So I'll give you an example, okay? I could hear my grandpa's booming voice resonating throughout the house. Okay, let's say you are a kid. You're playing downstairs with your cousins, right? And your siblings in your house, but your grandpa is upstairs, and your grandpa has a really loud, booming voice. Okay, that's what booming means. You know, some people have a very soft voice. You know, you can't hear. Hey, speak up a bit, right? I can't hear you. They have naturally a soft voice. Some people have a booming voice, just a big voice, right? So in this sentence, my grandpa, I said, you know, imagine you're a kid, you're playing downstairs. Well, you can hear his booming voice resonating throughout the whole house, right? That means the sound of his voice is just everywhere in the house. You can hear it. Why? Because it's, you know, the sound of his voice is kind of loud and it's resonating everywhere. It's reverberating everywhere, right? Here's another example. The mosque call resonated across the entire city. Okay? The mosque call resonated across the entire city. So what does that mean? Have you ever been to the Middle East? Any of the countries kind of in the Middle East? If you have, you will have heard the mosque call. Okay. If you haven't heard it, just search on YouTube, mosque call, and you'll hear it, right? So, and it happens 5 times a day in most of the Middle Eastern countries. Okay. You hear it early morning, and then 5 times a day, you can hear the mosque call resonating across the city. So what does that mean? Well, that means you can hear it kind of for a while. And maybe there are mountains around the city, so maybe it's echoing off the mountains, and you can hear it across the whole city. Right? If you've ever experienced this, you can hear the mosque call from far away, maybe miles away, right? Now, even if there are no mountains, we can still use this word. It's resonating because it lasts for a few minutes. Okay, if you look at the mosque has loud speakers, and the sound, it's kind of like a song. Okay, it's like a song that's coming out of the loudspeakers, and the sound is for a few minutes. Okay, so we don't necessarily mean that the sound is bouncing off anything, but we mean the sound is kind of lingering over the city for a while, for a few minutes. Okay, to linger means something stays for a while. Okay, so we could say the sound of the mosque call, right? It lingers for a few minutes because it's a few minutes long, right? It's not just one word that goes out. It's like a 3-minute song basically, right? And so you could say I can hear the mosque call resonating across the city. Okay, so in these 2 examples, with the grandpa's booming voice and the mosque call, we're talking about the physical sound. We're talking about the sound, right? Now, when I used the example, when I read this poem, I said there's one line in the poem that resonated with me. What does that mean? That means when I read that line, those words went into me. They went into my heart, and they stayed there. They evoked kind of a deep feeling within me, right? They kind of evoked an emotional reaction in me. And this is a good word. If something resonates with you, that means it stays inside you, and it reverberates, it resonates, right? It doesn't just go in one ear and come out the other. Then that's, because most things we hear in life, that's what happens, right? Maybe you hear something on the news, it goes in one ear, it comes out the other. Okay, so that's an idiom in English. That means it didn't mean anything to you. It's just, in one ear, out the other. All right, so if I ask you, what did you think of the president's speech? Okay, you're the president of your country, gives a speech, you heard it. If I ask you, what did you think about it? You could say, in one ear, out the other. It means you don't remember. You didn't really care. It wasn't anything memorable. The president didn't say anything. My truck is making weird noises, guys. Every time my truck goes to sleep, it makes some weird noises. Come on, go to sleep. It just takes so long to go to sleep, guys. There, I think it's finally sleeping. Yeah, so, usually politicians' speeches, yeah, it's kind of just like one in one ear, out the other. Okay, so I could tell, or you could tell me, it went in one ear and it came out the other. So that means you don't really remember it, you don't care about it, right? But imagine if the president said some words that made you think, and maybe they went in one ear, but then it went down into your heart. And now those words are resonating in your heart. Huh. Oh. It's like maybe you're thinking about it and it feels, you feel something, and it's usually like it's a good thing. If something resonates in you, right? It's a bad thing if something goes in one ear and comes out the other. That's bad. Like words that go in one ear and come down into your heart, they resonate, and that's a good thing. Okay? So I said that this person's poem resonated with me. I mean, the whole poem resonated with me. But especially that one line. That one line. Now, which line was it? Which line do you think? I'll tell you. Look at this. We can't imagine how hard it is for a flower to bloom. It faces pain, loneliness, and struggles alone. Wow. When I read that, I was like, wow, that's so interesting. We never think about a flower struggling to bloom, but really that's true in life, Things that are beautiful usually come about through a really hard struggle. Like imagine if you see a marriage, sometimes you see clips of like two very elderly people, maybe like in their 90s, still married. They've been married for like 60 years. And they're still together. They're in the hospital. They're holding hands. They're still together. Their love endured. That didn't just happen. It was probably painful. It was probably, their love blossomed as a kind of as a result of struggle or effort, anything beautiful. Like even if you want to, let's say you want to, sometimes you see people who are really physically fit. They're beautiful or they're handsome. And they've tried really hard. They've put in effort to keep, sometimes I see women who are like, in their, older than me, they're maybe they're 50, 60, and I can see, man, they're still so beautiful. You can tell they've put in a lot of effort to stay, because kind of the trend is that when we get older, we kind of get fat, and maybe we get lazy, and maybe we get a bit more ugly, right? That's just kind of how it is. That's part of life. But some people they try really hard to take really good care of their bodies. And it's such a beautiful thing. And that beauty has really come about through a lot of effort. It's not easy to stay fit and healthy and have it like a good looking body. Because when you get older, your metabolism slows down and it's easier to get fat. Like me, right? But some people have a lot of discipline, and it's hard work. Anything like, sometimes you see walking around, sometimes I see people, they have beautiful gardens. Like their whole yard will be really just gorgeous. I remember when I was out in BC a few years ago, I really noticed that people took really good care of their yards, and most of the time they had like beautiful flowers, in front of their house, and their lawns were really well trimmed, always just well taken care of. And I was like, this is so beautiful. But that beauty didn't just kind of come out of nowhere. It came out of, an effort. They tried very hard to keep their yard looking nice. They planted flowers in front of their house. It was just great to see. I really enjoyed that. I thought about that every day, walking past these houses. Man, these yards are beautiful, but it came as a result of hard work. So, if you think about a flower, like this poem says, a flower, it's struggling to bloom, but finally it does, right? It's putting all its effort into blooming, and it's just, it says, but once it blooms, it sees others just like it. That's interesting, right? So this poem, I never really thought about a flower struggling through loneliness, through, just how hard it is to bloom. And so that line in particular resonated with me. Okay, it resonated. Or I could use the present tense. I could say it resonates with me. That line resonates with me. Okay, I mean, I read this poem like a month ago. This comment, this person posted the comment. So it resonated with me back then, and it's still, these words are still in my heart now. But I could also say, in the present tense, I could say, just generally, this poem resonates with me, or this particular line of the poem, it resonates with me. Okay, I'm kind of not using any verb, like the present simple verb tense is usually used to talk about like something that is a bit disconnected from time. Like if you say, like, I go to the gym. Well, what does that mean? That means just a general statement. You go to the gym, right? You probably started a while back, and you're going to go in the future. You go maybe every day, and so in English we can choose our verb tenses, right? So if I just want to make a general statement, I can say this poem resonates with me. Okay, or I could make it into the present continuous verb tense, and because I'm talking to you right now, and I'm saying, this poem, it's really resonating with me. It's resonating. So I'm adding ing. Why? Because it's happening right now. Okay, so I can choose the different verb tenses, whatever I want to say. But how about you? Is this poem, does it resonate with you? Do these words resonate with you? Okay, so you can use this word resonate to mean words that stay in your heart for a long time. Okay, it could be a speech, maybe a politician's speech that resonated with you. It could be someone's kind words, someone's words that just, they resonated with you. Oh, wow. But so, I mean, what this kind of means is it's something that made you think, or it made you feel something, right? For example, you could say the pastor's sermon last week really resonated with me. The pastor's sermon on Sunday, I mean, today it's already, Thursday or Friday, it's toward the end of the week, but man, it's still resonating with me. That means his words, the pastor's words, are stayed with you. Okay, in Protestant Christianity, the spiritual leader of a church is called a pastor, and the message, the speech that the pastor gives is called a sermon. Okay, now in Catholic in Catholic churches, Okay, the spiritual leader of the church is called a priest. And the priest, the speech that the priest gives is called a homily. Often it's called a homily. Okay, so a sermon and a homily are basically the same thing. It's a speech used to spiritually edify the people, right? To edify means to spiritually benefit the congregation. Okay, so the people that are at the church, they are called the congregation. So the homily or a sermon is, the purpose of it is to edify the people, the congregation. Okay, that's just a little different. So you could say, the priest's homily, it really resonated with me. It resonated with me. All right. So there's so many different examples, you could give. But remember, this is about words. It could be a poem that resonates with you. It could be a speech. It could be a song. Maybe the lyrics of a song resonate with you. Let me know in the comments, what is something that has resonated with you in the past? Has someone said something to you, or has someone, maybe someone's given a speech, or you heard something, or you read a message on maybe someone posted something on social media and you read the words. Okay, so this doesn't need to be necessarily audible. Audible means you can hear it. You can also hear it by reading it, right? So in this example with the poem, I didn't hear it. It didn't go into my ears. It went into my eyes, actually, and it went down into my heart. And it's resonating in my heart, even though this word is a word to describe sound. Well, it has that meaning, like a metaphorical meaning, right? So the words that I'm reading off my phone screen, they went down into my heart, and they're resonating. Okay. So I think that's it, guys. Do you get it, right? Give me an example of something that's resonated with you. What is a song or a poem or something? Give me an example down in the comments of something that has resonated with you recently. Like I said, it could be a whole speech, it could be a whole song, a whole poem, or maybe it's just a few words. Maybe it's a line of a poem, or a line of a song. Wow, that's a meaning. That's such a deep meaning. It's resonating with me. Okay, so thank you very much for this poem. I really loved it. It's resonating with me, guys. Maybe I should write you a poem. I should write you guys a poem. Are you good at poem writing? I don't know. I don't usually write poetry, but I'll give it a shot. If you give something a shot, that means you try. Okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. It just means you make an effort. Okay, so here's my poem, guys. I don't know what you look like. I've never heard your voice. But I know that you love me. You make my heart rejoice. I wish I could meet you in real life, have a cup of tea together. Always remember that I love you, especially in stormy weather. Now there it is, guys. There's my poem. Just got a notification on my phone. Did you like my poem? Did my poem resonate with you? I hope it resonated with you guys. Write me a poem down there. Poems don't have to rhyme. my poem, I tried to make it rhyme a little bit, right? This person's poem didn't rhyme. A poem, it can kind of be some lines with kind of deep meaning, or it can be something that rhymes. I mean, actually, like most of the time, well, I don't know if most of the time, but very often poetry has a certain, like a pattern that repeats, or I don't know. There's all kinds of different poetry, right? So, anyway, if you guys want, write me a poem down in the comments. I hope you like my poem, and I love this poem that was written. Thank you for posting it. Well, guys, that's what resonate means. It has two meanings: the physical nature of the sound that lingers for a while, and the other meaning where it resonates in your heart. So, guys, I hope my words today didn't go in one ear and out the other. I hope this English lesson will resonate for a while, so you learn this word and you can use it in your daily life. It's great. So that's it, guys. As always, I love you so much. Hope you're doing great. Hope it's not snowy where you are. Look at that pile of snow. Remember, I love you, especially in snowy, did I say snowy weather or stormy weather? I think I like stormy better. We need people to love us in stormy weather is a metaphor, right, for hard times in life, challenging times. So if you are going through a challenging time in life, you're facing the storms of life, remember that I love you very much, and I hope you're doing great, guys. Well, that's it from me, here in wintry Canada. Hope it's warm where you are, and send me some warmth from your place. So anyway, as always, I'll see you guys over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.